3 laps to come. It's lights out and away we go. And Verstappen crawling away from the start, gets away, but not as well as Charles Leclerc on the inside. Esteban Ocon getting a bit squirrely, as is Sebastian Vettel. Into turn 1 we go. Verstappen is ahead of Charles Leclerc. Leclerc trying to fight this one, but as they now head towards the S's, it's Verstappen who's leading from Charles Leclerc. Sergio Perez ahead of Carlos Sainz, and then Esteban Ocon in 5th ahead of Lewis Hamilton. And the start, Verstappen wasn't as quickly away as Charles Leclerc, but by the time they hit the first corner, he was ahead.
There's a Ferrari off.
There's a Ferrari off, and it is Carlos Sainz into the barrier and out of the race. And a safety car before the end of lap 1. And we've just seen a replay of what happened to Carlos Sainz.
Yeah, I crashed. I crashed.
You can barely see where he's meant to be braking, and he makes contact, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did. He was aquaplaning all the way down the straight there. The water sort of sits on the edge of the circuit.
I got hit by Alonso. Really bad, really bad.
And that's what spun him out. Ted, down to you.
It's absolutely chucking it down, Crofty, now, just in the last 30 seconds.
This is Alex Albon.
Oh no, he actually had a failure.
Yeah, he's stuck in 2nd gear.
Oh, I took a thing. What the hell is that? Oh my god. Safety car. I don't know, I got something stuck. I can't see in front of me.
You can barely see a few feet.
Yeah. As Joe goes round.
Pirouetting Zhou Guanyu, nearly collecting Alex Albon of the Williams before he got going once again. This is into the hairpin. Yeah, you can see how the rain intensifying, and just too much for the intermediates.
Red flag. God, what the? Yeah, what is this tractor? What is this tractor on track? I'll pass next to it, like. This is unacceptable. Can't believe this.
The red flag the race. With the rain intensifying, race control have taken the decision to bring out the red flag. Race will resume at 4:15, ladies and gentlemen. In 10 minutes' time, race will resume.
Track's really good.
Okay, copy.
Lewis Hamilton wants to go racing.
Yeah, he soon enters, but the problem is the field is not bunched up. You know, when you pit now, it's a bit of a disaster, I think.
Yeah, he's going to have to go at least one more lap and a racing lap on the wet weather tyres. Well, as Max Verstappen then reaches the final corner, we'll see if anyone does come in to the pit lane. But we're racing again here at Suzuka. The Japanese Grand Prix is go once more. Verstappen leads the way then down into turn 1. Charles Leclerc follows on in 2nd place. You could barely see Charles Leclerc as Max made his way into turn 1. Then comes Perez, then comes Ocon, then comes Hamilton into the pits. Sebastian Vettel and Nicholas Latifi too have decided at the back of the field to take the gamble and go on to intermediate tyres.
It's just you want to be the one that gets out of the pits first, and Sebastian, has he done it?
Just.
Is that a safe release?
Well, they're running alongside each other, and now, well, who can get the power down fastest? Sebastian Vettel is ahead of Nicholas Latifi. George Russell's in, Perez, Ocon, Alonso. No, he stays out. Hamilton also into the pits. Decent stop there for Max Verstappen. As out comes Charles Leclerc, and in comes Lewis Hamilton. Just seemed choreographed, very neatly done. There is George Russell coming in as Esteban Ocon makes his way out onto the racetrack. And the race currently being led by Fernando Alonso, who stayed out, and Daniel Ricciardo with Mick Schumacher 3rd, and then Max Verstappen in 4th on the intermediate tyres. And down the main straight, Max Verstappen on the intermediate tyres, getting past the Haas of Mick Schumacher as Alonso feeds back into the race in 8th place. There was plenty of room to run side by side. And talking of side by side, and now ahead, Charles Leclerc gets past the Haas of Mick Schumacher.
This is giving it's great for Lewis now. He can get a good run on Ocon. Ocon probably doesn't even know he's there at this moment in time because there's so much spray out there, but he's down the inside of Mick Schumacher.
Charles Leclerc now makes it 4.2 seconds, the gap between Verstappen and himself. Hamilton goes around the outside of the final turn and puts his Mercedes up into the top 5. George Russell and Yuki Tsunoda going through the S's here. That was textbook. George Russell gets past Lando Norris up into the points. We're on board with Lewis Hamilton now. Towards 130R we go. Are we going to get a pass through 130R in the wet here at Suzuka? They almost touch Hamilton and Ocon as Ocon defends for all his might. Hamilton under braking. Can he find a gap? No. That was the moment, just going into 130R and almost made contact. Fernando Alonso takes Jenson Button's advice of coming in for a pit stop to try and improve your position.
I think he's a lap late. That's all I have to say, he's a lap late.
Sergio Perez is giving it everything, trying to get past Charles Leclerc, goes down the inside. It's imperative for these two that contact is not made. Certainly for Charles Leclerc, who doesn't want to crash out of this race like his teammate did right there, because he would be out of the championship, and that would be the end of his title hopes this season. As it is, they don't touch, and Charles Leclerc stays ahead of Sergio Perez, as out in front, Max Verstappen making his way to yet another victory. Charles Leclerc has given it everything in his defence against Sergio Perez. Max Verstappen has taken the checkered flag to win the Japanese Grand Prix. It's a 12th win of the season for Charles Leclerc. Meanwhile, 12th win of the season for Max Verstappen. Meanwhile, Leclerc goes across the rumble strip. Perez tries to get him on the outside of the final corner. Leclerc comes home to take second place ahead of Sergio Perez. They might have a look at that in the steward's room after this race, because that seemed very untidy going through the final corner. But let's take it through 130R, Jensen.
Yeah, so Leclerc's braked. He's just out-braked himself and gone straight. I personally feel that he's going to have to, well, he's going to lose that position to Checo.
He pushed me off. Wow. He came really unsafe.
Esteban Ocon holds off Lewis Hamilton while we look at these replays. Sebastian Vettel in second. Fernando Alonso did manage to get George Russell, finishes in 7th place.
At the same time as Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, he was what, 2.3 seconds quicker than Sebastian Vettel on the last lap, but not quite enough to get past Vettel at the line. Points go all the way down to 10th, so Russell gets points, Latifi and Lando Norris too.
We got him. You team. Is it still going, the race, or is it over?
Checkered flag is out, it's all over. You beauty.
Yeah, what a mistake, eh? I mean, strategically, what a disaster. I mean, what you are doing this year to me.
Charles Leclerc has been given a 5-second time penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. It gives Verstappen a 113-point lead. Because the race resumed after a red flag, full points could be awarded. A 32nd career win then for Max Verstappen. Same as Fernando Alonso. A 2nd world title for Max Verstappen. He is champion of the world in 2022.